So I had this idea for this episode where I was going to ask 10 closing managers and operation managers a question. And that question was, what's one thing you wish you can tell your BDOs but can't? And the thought was that I was going to create an episode that was like 10 things BDOs can do to improve or something like that. So I started asking and I get the first 5 responses back. And the answer was exactly the same from all of them. And in this episode, I break that down. Before we get into this week's episode, I have a very special announcement. The BDO Retreat is back. We're going back to the W in Fort Lauderdale on January 13th and 14th for a weekend of greatness amongst some of the top BDOs in the country. We launched this event last year, and the feedback was amazing. The relationships that were built at last year's event were more than just your typical connection you'd make at a conference. The group chat's still popping off, and even though we're all different shops, we remain in the trenches together, helping and encouraging each other however we can. And the knowledge that was shared at that event, it changed the way some of us do business, and most of us are having record-breaking years as a result. There is really nothing else like it. And we talked about making it a little bit bigger, but part of what made it so special was the intimate setting. So we are limiting the event to just 20 BDOs. First come, first serve. To sign up, go to artofsba.com and click the BDO Retreat tab. I'll leave a link below. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at ray@artofsba.com, and I'll see you there. BDOs tend to have a tendency to communicate timeliness to customers based on hope. I would say, please do a better job explaining to the borrowers that the SBA process is difficult, time-consuming, and frustrating. This is what they're saying. Don't be afraid to set expectations with a client up front. Don't make promises that you don't know you can keep. Before committing to an aggressive closing date, talk to your back office. Guys, I'm starting to think we have a bit of an image problem here. Every single one of them basically said do a better job setting realistic expectations about the closing process. This can't be a coincidence. Clearly, a large number of BDOs are guilty of this, and we know that ops managers don't like it, but I guess the question is, will curbing the expectations help meet your goals? Because as much as I want to make my ops manager like me, I have a goal and I need to meet it. So let's dive in. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. On one hand, you have BDOs overpromising. Absolutely. Let's dig into that. BDOs, we have a tendency to be optimistic. We see the glass half full. We want to say yes. We want people to like us. We want to be the hero. You get the call. I have a slam dunk CRE purchase, but it has to close in 30 days. If I could make this happen, I'm going to win this deal, and the referral source is going to love me. So they take it on, and in their mind, they're going to get it done. Okay, so that's one BDO mindset. Then there's another type of BDO that's just going to say they can do it, knowing they will likely need to get an extension at the end. And I'm just going to assume that that BDO doesn't listen to the podcast because they're probably in a park somewhere throwing sticks in front of rollerbladers. Then there's the BDO that says, that's not going to happen. Here's what is possible, but only if you provide X, Y, and Z by these dates. And then when they miss those dates, they reset expectations. Now, which door do you take to get to the promised land? Door 1, 2, or 3? I would submit to you that door number 3 is the door that top producing BDOs will choose most of the time. So yes, without a doubt, setting proper expectations and resetting them as needed is an extremely important aspect of managing a deal, because a borrower is only going to base their expectations off what the BDO told them up front. Did it meet or exceed what they said, or did it fall short? Chances are this is their first SBA loan and they don't know what to expect. So if we oversimplify it up front, we're setting ourselves up for failure. I would much rather tell someone that the process is crap and then over-deliver. I personally tell people that the closing process is very challenging and the deal will probably die at least once. But a lot of BDOs are afraid that the customer will not go with them if they tell the truth. I will tell you that borrowers actually really respect when you level with them, and it helps build credibility And you're also going to build credibility within your shop. And that's most important because we know these fire drill closings put a lot of stress on the system. Now, you may have to take on 1 or 2 of these rush deals a year, but not without buy-in from the entire team. Having really strong and good and healthy relationships with your internal partners is probably in my top 3 in terms of becoming a top producing BDO, like what's most important. I had someone reach out to me this week, startup deal with leasehold improvements, but they need to move quick. They had tried financing non-SBA because they didn't want to go through the SBA process, but that fell through. So now they're back to SBA. So now they're behind schedule and they still have to go through the entire SBA loan process. And so I passed because 1, they aren't going to be happy in the end no matter what. And 2, in my experience, there ain't nothing fast about SBA construction loans. Now, I understand if you aren't as quick to say no to a deal when you're struggling to build a pipeline, but I would submit to you that you are struggling to build a pipeline because you're wasting time on deals that you shouldn't be and not getting repeat business because of a failure to exceed expectations at the end. When you say yes to that deal, it does come at a cost. There's damage to your internal relationships, stress on the system, which may impact some of your other deals, and the deal could still not close in 30 days or whatever you're promising because of some random issue that comes up in closing and then everyone is mad. Okay, I think you guys get it. I'll stop beating that dead horse. Now I wanted to give a message to the closing and operations managers. Why don't you guys just work harder? I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, closings are the toughest part, and someone on your team might drop the ball. Curveballs will get thrown at you. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? How can I improve? What can I do better to make these deals go smoother? This is a mental game, folks, and having the right mindset is key. All right, that's it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode of The Art of SBA Lending. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, email me at ray@artofsba.com. Until next time, ta-ta.